For this task, I'm going to make a maths quiz. Now, I've already chosen my sprite. I've changed it to the monkey sprite because he's got more than one costume, and I want a happy face for when they get the question right and a sad face for when they get the question wrong. So the first thing I need to do is to think about what data I'm going to have in my program. The monkey is going to ask a question and the user needs to answer that question. So I'm going to have to store the answer. So I'm going to click on data and make a variable which I'm going to call answer, and that's going to store the user's answer. So now I've got my variable, I can start my program. I'm going to want to switch the monkey to his happy costume. So just put that there, go have a look at my costumes. So that's monkey 2A is the happy one. So I'm going to switch to that. Monkey 2A is the happy costume. I need to say hello. So I'm going to say hello to the user for 2 seconds. And then I'm going to ask them to answer the question. So I'm going to say, can you answer my maths question? And it's going to say that for 2 seconds. And then we need to ask the question. So we're going to ask, come find that. There it is, ask. What is, let's go with 5 times 9. So there's my maths question. I'm going to ask them, what is 5 times 9? I'm going to wait. I then need to pick up their answer, so I'm going to set their answer. That picks up the answer from the user to whatever answer they type in. And then I need to check to see if they've got the answer right or wrong. So I need to go to control and use an if statement. I want an if-else statement because I want to check if it's right and do one thing. Else, if they've got it wrong, I want to do something else. So I want to check to see if their answer is equal to the right answer. So I need to check to see if answer equals 5 9s, 45. So if the answer is 5 9s, I want to say well done. So I want to say well done. Oops, something gone slightly astray there. Let's just get rid of that. Well done. And I'm going to switch costume. I think I should have started with that costume and I'll switch to the happy costume. So I'm going to change that one to costume B. And then I'm going to switch to costume A for the happy costume. Otherwise, I'm just going to duplicate those 2 lines, pop them in there. So if they get it wrong, I want to say, sorry, the answer is 45, and I want to switch to the sad costume, which is costume C. So if I just stop that and start again, it says hello to me for 2 seconds. Can you answer my maths question? What is 5 times 9? So if I put in 45 and click on the tick, I get well done and I get a happy smiley monkey. If I just play that again, it's going to say hello. Can you answer my maths question? Let's get it wrong this time. Let's say I put the answer 40. Sorry, the answer is 45 and I get a sad face. So that's the first part of my problem. The trouble is this only asks one question and I want to ask a series of questions. But if I put in this line here, ask what is, then I'm going to have to make up my questions in advance and I'm going to have 10 questions with 10 answers, and there's a lot of code there. And what I would prefer is just to have a loop that automatically asks 10 questions. And I can do that, but I would need to generate different questions each time. So I'm going to use the random number generator. I'm going to need more variables, so I'm going to choose make a variable. So I'm going to need a variable called number 1 to store the first number. I'm going to need a variable called number 2 to store the second number. And then what I need to do is, instead of asking the question, what is 5 times 9, I need to generate 2 random numbers which will ask that question. So this time I want to set number 1, come on, number 1 to not a particular value, but I'm going to pick a random value between 1 and 10. And then I need to do the same thing for number 2. Pick a random value between 1 and 10. So now I can ask my question, what is, but I need to put the numbers in, so I'm going to need to use a join. So I'm going to put a join in there, and I'm going to say, oops, what is, and leave a space, and I'm going to need another join because I need to join my numbers together. So then I want to say, what is number 1? I need another join. X for times, and then I need to put number 2 in. So that's going to ask the question, what is number 1 times number 2? And it just joins it all together, and then wait. So I need to pick the answer up as before, and again I need to check, but it's not going to check that the answer is equal to 45 this time. I need to make sure it equals my random numbers. So I need to pick out the one that's times, and then I want to say if it equals number 1, oh hang on, I've lost my times, let's just put that in there, number 2, and pop that back in there. So what that's saying is if their answer equals number 1 times number 2, they've got it right, otherwise they've got it wrong. So this time it's going to ask me a random number. Can you answer my maths question? What is 10 times 3? Well, I reckon I can answer that. We'll go with 30. Well done. Still, it's only asking one question. So I'm going to take the ticks out of here because I don't actually want it to show any of the variables. But what I need to do now is to make it repeat a certain number of times. So I'm going to find a repeat loop. There it is. So I can make it ask 10 questions, but I need to put that around here where it actually generates the random numbers and asks the question. Now what would be also very useful is if I kept a record of the score. So I'm going to need another variable which I'm going to call score. So I'm going to save that. Now the first thing I need to do is to set the score to 0 right at the very beginning, and then if they get the answer right, I want to add 1 to the score, change the score by 1. If they get the answer wrong, I don't want to do anything to the score. So I'm going to just change that just to so it asks 5 questions rather than 10, otherwise we'd be here too long. And now I need to display the score, so I want to say, and I need to join things together again, so I need to say you have scored, and then I want to output their final score, which is that one just there. You have scored that. And so now it should ask me 10 questions. So I don't want score to show, so let's take the tick out of that. Click play. Hello. Can you answer my maths questions? So what is 1 times 2? Nice easy one. That's 2. So well done. What is 9 times 1? 9. So I'm getting different questions each time. They're just randomly generated questions. And you can see so far I've got them all right. So I'm just going to get this one wrong so you can see the difference. Oh, the answer's 45. So what is 4 times 10? Well, that one's 40. And I scored 4 out of 5. So you can see by putting a loop in, it asks the questions 5 times, and because I'm using random numbers I get 5 different questions.